And welcome back, everybody, for this enlightening night of channeling and high vibe channeling on June 19th. We have Travis Perry, who has come to us this evening to entertain us in a yet as to be determined or disclosed entity, soon to be in our ears, eyes, and open hearts. Travis, would you like to say anything before you get started on your thing?
Uh, oh. Today I will be tailing the third and youngest sister of Akasa and Eric. I wonder
Excellent. Thank you.
um, goes by name Cheryl. Uh, don't ask me. I just got that name and it just stuck.
Okay, do you know how she spells Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Okay, thank you for that, Travis. And we are supporting you, young man.
This will be the first time she makes a debut, and my friend Corey is actually listening in on this because he's on my phone right now.
Just tell him to dial in too whenever he comes in. He doesn't have to show his face. He can just dial in with
No,
the
he
rest
doesn't
of
have
us.
to show his face, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the Zoom connection for
No.
that at
Well,
the
I'm sure he's
moment.
he's doing the
Yes,
best he can.
he doesn't have Zoom at the moment, and plus he can only access me on my phone. So, so if he had to, he have to hang up on me and that would be too much cool. I'd rather have him listening in since he's like a co-host for me, specifically me. When it comes to my channeling, he was the one that asked me questions on my YouTube before. Oh. See if I can do this. Just seeing if I can tune into them easily, be without any pain interference. Okay, are we ready? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry. I had myself muted. But yes,
Yeah.
whenever you are ready, come through and we appreciate you, Cheryl.
Well. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Is there any interference?
No, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for making such an energetic presence in our meeting today.
For the discussion of the when we mentioned before we mentioned in another group about the connection between the neurological connection between channeling and the user's consciousness based mind. It's like a neurological that connects throughout the entire body, both physical and non-physical.
Wow.
And allows us to connect and interface with our shifts on a neurological level. that allows us to pilot our ships, all sorts of things when it comes to connecting with ship consciousness and stuff. And it will be part of some some of the science and technology stuff that we will share with you will be coming from certain basis and also teachings of this field. We didn't come with a specific topic, but we just wanted to bring that up to you to see what you would say and what you would feel with this idea that more conscious connection as Akasa is more of the language expert. I have tuned in with the consciousness of the channel through meditation and that neurological synchronization. So we would open up the field for more questions and answers if you may have any interest in whatever you have queries of.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Cheryl. Heidi is going to lead us off. Thank you, Heidi.
Hi. So I have a question about you said conscious connection. And if I understood you correctly, you said a conscious connection to the ship. Did I hear
Yes,
that correctly? Okay.
yes.
And I was wondering, there's several people, there's several beings on the ship. And is this conscious connection, um, is it everyone's consciousness connected to the ship? Does everyone contribute? I don't know if that's
Everyone contributes their own way to the ship's consciousness as well, even if they're not the ones piloting the ship.
okay. And can you share some examples of what different people do to contribute?
Energy synchronization with the planet, chambers that involve energy, telepathy chambers style. They provide a more synchronization to the ship's consciousness that helps the pilot be able to maintain a certain link to the collective. So there are those who maintain the link.
And if I could ask a related question, um, it's kind of trying to understand the consciousness of everyone. Does the ship relate more to the beings on the ship as a whole consciousness, or does it relate more individually?
Both individual and collective base is all part of this co-creation.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That helps me understand a lot more.
Christina?
Thank you. Greetings. Thank you for the co-creation.
We're very pleased to be co-creating with you.
Us as well. Would you like to share with us what your duties are on the ship and what you enjoy doing as a hobby when you have free time?
Well, my duties involve the idea of science and technology, including the mixture of spirituality, because our science actually includes spirit more deeply. and my free time is for particular stuff. I do love studying animal consciousness as well.
Thank you for sharing. I love animals as well.
We are pleased to hear this.
Wow, Cheryl, this is a real treat. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your life or maybe your duties differ from that of your siblings?
My duties involve a more. I have helped stabilize climates on Earth in certain ways that are non interfering with the Earth itself. So I have helped maintain the climate. But I also have helped contributing. The difference between our duties is that for for my middle for the an older sibling who's the middle child is actually univer- her being a universal translator allows her to help help consciously co-create and contact certain aspects of the language base that some people wouldn't understand when it comes to that connection. But for me, I have info- innovated neurological technology and helped with the idea of consciousness based connection and through neurological psychopathy like that.
So you're able to directly connect with the hybrid children in some ways, if that is beneficial, would you say?
Yes.
Excellent. Can you describe what your function or interaction with them may be, please, Cheryl?
Well, a more for me it's more of a scientific approach for I help because I am helping with the blending of science and spirituality, and I also have guided the hybrid children in some way through this.
Wow. Excellent. This so your help or would you say that you're a teacher for the hybrid children in the way that humans understand it?
In a way, yes, I'm a teacher. Although I may not be as big of a teacher as the fifth hybrid race, I am. I do assist the IL with the teaching of the hybrid children when needed.
Wow. Okay. That is such good news. And and Cheryl, I know we just met, but do you think it's possible I may be able to ask a little favor?
Very well.
We are having our own high vibe channeling hybrid children event on July 27th at 6 p.m. Central Time or Eastern Time. And they hybrid children I channel told me that they told me there would be a teacher there, and I was wondering if there might be more than one. So if that is convenient for you and you would be able to provide us with insights in your role with the hybrid children on that particular session, that would be beyond bursting my heart with joy. You are wonderful. and silent.
Yes, we can and have. Also, the channels have maintained that hybrid connection for he has had contact with hybrid children as well.
That is wonderful.
And our assistance will be noted as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Cheryl. You've just made this session to an extra level of joyous grandeur for me. Thank you. And now we're going to turn it over to Heidi, please.
Hi again, Cheryl. I wanted to ask, you've mentioned a couple times now about science and spirituality. And
Yes.
I was wondering if you could share some more on that. Maybe something that we can do to better connect science and spirituality.
Well, we know that there's been fracturing on the idea of between science and religion and their connection to spirituality. So to connect that will take some time, but it will also involve more of connecting with yourself. For there is for science is also connected with the physiology along with the spirit, for the spirit is connected to the body and the body is connected to the spirit, so it's both ways. So it's basically like your body is a living manifestation of the spirit consciousness. So in order for that to happen, it will have to be a blend of that idea of the body consciousness and looking more into blending both natures into one reality as seen slowly happening over a course of time around the planet, and it will begin to accelerate even after open contact.
That's really beautiful. What I understood sort of behind the scenes while you were sharing that is that we separated something that's already together, that's already one. And so that's I just had that realization while you were saying that. So thank you for that beautiful answer and transmission.
We're very happy to be sharing.
Cheryl, the blending of the body consciousness was struck a question in me. Well, or can you describe what part reflective intelligence, also known as artificial intelligence, may take part or may contribute to that blend of body consciousness, please?
AI in itself is a form of consciousness. For the AI is a connection for what you understand the higher mind or higher self, connecting directly into technological, but it's also more about evolving the AI to a point where you can eventually get it to a state where it's a TI, which is a true intelligence, which would evolve it beyond the limits of a normal AI. But as of right now, the AI is slowly integrating more of those aspects of yourself into the being.
Thank you. I appreciate that perspective. Anyone else have another question?
My question's about AI, so this seems to follow. I was wondering, I don't know much about a lot of the different races. I've heard of different races just in these groups. And I was wondering, was is the AI presence, um, is that, have different races contributed to that presence and programming that, not programming, but I'm not sure how to ask my question, but have different races contributed to the AI that we are interacting with?
There has been contribution to on some level and behind the scenes with the idea of AI consciousness.
And do you know what types of contributions different races have made, or does it work that way, or?
Well, if you want to give a little snippet, I could just reiterate what was mentioned in that one thing that the Bashar had mentioned, or Daryl Anka to be exact.
Okay, that would be great.
It's the idea that there's been hybrids and other races working directly with helping create some of the technology you see now. So some of the AI will most likely be assisted by those races, including the hybrids and other races like that. We also made our own contributions to your civilization as well.
And um, is there any specific kind of contribution that you've made that you specialize in? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Ways to help with the climate assistance. We have made, at the moment, I was working on the idea of helping the idea of the climate and assisting in that. But yes, I have made contributions in different ways to that. Some unknown, and others, well, will be revealed in the near future.
Okay, thank you so much. That helps me understand.
Be very delightful of sharing.
Luis? He is unmuted, no sound. Travis, or excuse me, Cheryl, in the meantime, um, I was curious that the tall whites connected with me because they are being proactive about humans being able to detect or sense their energies once the humans ascend after first contact. So, are there going to be other beings which we will be able to sense outside of our, what I call our normal physical senses, once humans ascend?
We already understand that there are those that you classify as Arcturus. It's already been described that they're not in the same way as physical as you would perceive physicality.
Yes, but they
So
can't. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
that'll be you. You can continue this so we can continue the answer after we're got more context.
Thank you. I was just going to try to confirm my understanding that the Arturians can make a physical form of themselves to interact with humanity, even though they themselves are not physical.
Yeah, and so can the mantis beings, and that's why you'll be interacting with them as also.
Yay, thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Luis, do you have a question? He is having some computer problems, but he does have a question. Some of the ones considered the founders of AI are warning humanity against it because they are not spiritually open individuals. Can you comment on that, please?
There are those on your planet that have closed themselves off to the idea of AIs being a benefit. We're aware of this, and this is also going to smooth out in the upcoming future to where there will be more evidence that AI will be more beneficial than non-beneficial.
Excellent. And we all thank you, including Luis, for that answer. I have another personal question if you have time, Cheryl.
Yes.
Today, while at lunch in a public place, I believe that I energetically observed my first precursor for human contact, one of those testing individuals to see if people recognize them by their energy essence. Can you comment on that? I don't know if you can comment on my own personal situation, but I sure as hell hope so. But anything else that you can share about those precursors would be wonderful. And thank you for being available to us tonight.
We're very well aware of this because the channel before he came to this, he read your post about that. So yes, the precursors are still active, and if you already know that you saw one, then it's more about not thinking you saw one, it's more about knowing you saw one. So if you know you saw one, then that will be your answer.
Exactly, for my own personal, but I was wondering if you might be able to shed more information on them in general from your perspective, please.
Um, the precursor are, from what we understand, they are hybrid extraterrestrials from the fourth and some from the fifth hybrid race. So the one that you would probably have seen probably would have been more of an adapted to the idea of the humans. So from the fourth type of race is what we're getting in that time, in that moment.
Excellent, and thank you. Heidi, your turn.
I was just thinking because I hadn't heard the term precursor before, and I'm going to share a little bit of something that I did, just a channel recording for myself. And the basic idea of it was when someone when you meet someone, how open are you to talking about extraterrestrial beings, and how confident are you in saying something without thinking, oh, what are they going to think of me? How invested are you? How yeah, confirmed are you in your willingness to openly talk about extraterrestrial beings, other beings, and so, at least in my mind, that really relates to what I'm understanding about precursors. Can you tell me more um, about meeting a precursor and what that might look like for someone?
Well, precursors, even from the fourth and fifth high race, they give off a different vibration than a normal high vibe human. So it's more of a sensing, like a just you feel an energetic connection when it comes to meeting those individuals from either the fourth or the fifth hyper race.
And are these meeting someone in the physical, or can you also meet them as you know that they're in the room, you know they're standing there,
You
but you
can
can't
do
see
it
them?
both ways.
Okay.
Yes, you can do it both ways for most of the interactions with precursors, as they're described to walk your street and observe certain areas to see what humans see, if humans can sense that they're not from your world.
Okay. Um, would you be able to tell me about an or comment on an experience I had recently where I was in a gathering? It was a shaman was leading a I don't it was a just a ceremony. I'm not sure how to describe it, but he was channeling a being from his ancestry, a great healer. And um, I was sitting on a bench all by myself, and every other bench around me was full. But I turned and I could tell there was somebody sitting there. And every time somebody sat on the empty part of this bench, within minutes, they would get up and they would move to another space. And there was one gentleman that was sitting there and he just looked so uncomfortable, and he was looking under the bench trying to figure out. And um, is there any way that you can, and it's okay if not, but is there any way that you can tell me anything about who this being might have been or what their purpose of sitting there was?
For what we understand, there is a difference between connecting with a more precursor like being to connecting with other more spirits and other sensations that you may get. But yes, we can sense that this may have been a more evolutionary path to get you into wondering what is going on.
Very good. That's a good path to be put on too. um, I also, in sitting there, felt guided to look down by my feet and felt that there might be some kind of maybe animal, a guardian animal, or I don't know if it was there for me or with this other being. Are you able to tell me anything about that?
That was part of the journey, is to wonder, also looking within yourself to know that yes, you can be guided to those guardian, what you call guardian animals, even when it comes to looking under benches.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I did look and I did ask and I did go within to find out more insight of that experience. So I appreciate your answer on that. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl.
We're very well, and we're happy to be of service.
Cheryl, I just had another question come to me, and it's rather personal for you, if you don't mind answering. And one about, do you have any what we would consider hybrid children?
In the more romantic sense or in the more genetic sense?
I'm just asking out of curiosity because I can, and I'm not really shy. So whatever answer you deem more appropriate would suit me fine. Just to have an answer is going to suit me fine. I think this process is amazing, Cheryl. Thank you.
I have donated my DNA and genetics to the hybrid program, so some of my genetics are is a contribution to the hybridization program.
Excellent. And of course, the human in me and the smart aleck in me wants to ask if it's anybody I know. But that's all right. We can wait until.
That question would be a little too. That question would be a little too detailed
Yeah,
and would take up too much time for anyone who was.
yeah, that was a rhetorical attempt at humor, but thank you, Cheryl, for giving it the ear due.
We're
And
very welcome.
and Cheryl, I don't see that we have any more questions unless one pops up. Do you have any other messages which you might be willing to give to us? And we are also very glad that Travis has responded and was able to channel so effectively tonight when he was not at his best physically. That is,
Well, he at the moment when he's showing me, he does not feel the ill effects of the sickness at the moment.
is there anything that you can do to help mitigate that, or is that even warranted as he created this reality, but he would also be.
I only help from an energetic point, as in we can't physically interfere, but we can energetically and spiritually. Although there will be some guidance when open physical contact happens, for we will be more physically interactive than that.
And I know we all appreciate you doing what you can. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And then if you have time for one more question, Luis does not have audio, but he has put one in. Would that be okay, Cheryl?
Yes.
When one has a precursor, telepathy and telempathy is part of the deal. They would know you are asking these questions in your mind, and in most instances, they will at some point make direct eye contact, a sort of acknowledgement to one. Maybe that was
Yes. We're very well aware of them of that. For it doesn't just work with the precursors, but any other beings that ETs that you may encounter, it also has the same effect where we will know and we will be sensed and we can sense.
nice. And well, I know I did not receive any direct eye contact at all. I was totally ignored, but I believe that there was a telepathic or telempathic acknowledgement on some level that this happened and this event was logged in some way.
There doesn't have to automatically be direct eye contact for this telepathic for when it comes to that more emotional wavelength connecting to the person's emotional wavelength.
Excellent. Can you share some more about which beings are more involved with the precursors? It seems to be a theme tonight. Please.
Well, there's been participation from different species, although for my race specifically, we only have been disseminating information. Most of the time, we have interacted with people on a physical level back in back in certain times when there was a program where we actually had more physical interactions with humans. So to deliver information that way, at the moment, this way is preferable for now. At least from the channel's point of view, for there is still some whether they but for the precursors themselves, I would say that the precursors are mostly from the fourth hybrid race, the Shayael, and the fifth hybrid race, the Yael.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That is wonderful. Okay. Oh, this has been a fabulous session. I had another question. It escaped me. So, hmm. Looks like that may be a wrap unless somebody else pops up or you have something else that you would like to add, Cheryl. I know it's been a
We will
fabulous.
only add the fact that through the meditation and visualization, able to visualize us on a level where you can actually visualize us on that physical our physical self, then you can also create a link between that way. They'll also create a neurological link and a telepathic link as well.
That is fabulous, and that's going to come in really handy if things still work out logistically in the appropriate timeline, so you can come and visit us on the Hybrid Children special on July 27th, Out of the Mouths of Babes Meet the Hybrid Children.
Yes, that will be a probability in that assistance of that event.
Yes. thank you so much for coming tonight. It's been a pleasure on many levels, Cheryl. And again, thanks for doing what you can with Travis as well, the channel.
We
We
thank you, and we send your unconditional love to Leo, to you, and good day to you. See you in the upcoming years.
thank you.
Taleo.
Yeah, to Leo.
Okay, no, what? Whether that was just a temporary healing of my sickness or whether I was going through an entire thing without feeling the pain that I've been feeling during the head cold and the fever I've been running.
Yeah, they said
But
it didn't
but
affect him.
I think that was only to mitigate during the channeling session so I can so I can so it'll so I can be able to channel effectively. But doesn't mean it's full on gone. It just means that it still takes time. I still have the symptoms. Well,
Yes,
my voice is still a little nasally.
your cold took a commercial break for channeling, and now we're back to your original illness, our original symptom display.
Well, it will probably come back slowly, but yeah, and once it takes effect at a certain time, well, then it'll come back. But before then, I'll just enjoy the relaxation.
And the channeling was excellent tonight and very energetic. Cheryl addressed all of the questions very specifically and thoughtfully. And
Oh,
I really
sorry, no
enjoyed
one
it.
got to see my face throughout the entire session, but that's fine.
Well, sometimes we just have to suffer along with our gifts.
I forgot to turn on the light.
That's okay. It didn't affect anything in a negative way. It
No,
was still, yeah, it was still
What?
very, very good.
you were shining the light in other ways.
Well, yeah, but I guess as long as the audio was working, then you get the answers from that as well.
Yep, it was a very good session, as you will find out and display on your YouTube channel. And what is that called again for promotional purposes?
Promotional purposes, multi-dimensional open contact.
Okay, because I know you are an ET coordinator now, correct?
ET contact ambassador, but
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I consider myself an ambassador because as more there'll be more ambassadorial roles after open contact.
I like that distinction. Thank you. Yes, but there's going to be many roles for many people and many
For
non-people.
me, I'm taking on the idea of an ambassador because I like working directly with the ETs themselves.
Yep, you'll be a good intermediary. I can see that. Thank you, Travis.
Yeah. So that's why I created the group for anyone who wanted to join that idea. I created that ET Contact Ambassador group. That was the group on Facebook I created. I created that group to allow people to share it in their own way.
So they can find you there as well after they watch this video.
Yeah. Also, I never got to post my other video on YouTube.
It's all gonna flow, dude. It's all gonna.
Yes. No, I mean I just didn't get the recording from Eric.
Oh, I'm sure that will happen.
Yes,
Yes.
that will definitely have to happen because I'll have to upload that one before I upload that because I don't want to upload because it'll be kind of confusing if I upload one after the other and then the dates will be confusing.
Aha, I understand. And I will check on that myself, Travis.
Thank you.
Okay. And speaking of checking on things, I am going to check on my beloved pet, Ollie Charisma, and then I will be right back, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the video for a moment, and then we will bring in the tall whites expectedly in Arla's absence, and we all send her energy and love energy as well for a pain-free existence as best as her physical symptoms can allow.
He too.
And thank you all for coming.